let me in the room and not tell me why?
You just irritate my soul, period.
Can you let me out of the room?
GJ and Max, mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
This MLB season is action-packed. It's adrenaline-filled. It's must-watch. Let's go! That ball is hit. The rest is history. It's next-generation baseball. MLB stars take the stage on Sunday Night Baseball. Giants, Mets. Sunday at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Presented by Casamigos Tequila.
Yo, check this out from Canty and Carlin.
When I look on social media, somebody wishes you a happy birthday, and then you retweet it with a comment, or you go ahead and repost it on Instagram. Oh, look, somebody wished me a happy birthday, and all of a sudden you've got 55 Instagram stories of somebody wishing you a happy birthday. We get it. You're special. Let's celebrate something that happened 27 years ago. You were born. Get over it.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now on SportsCenter all night. The Mets struggles continue.
It's been incredibly frustrating. If you ask me, would I have expected us to be in this position at the beginning of the season, the answer is no. But here we are.
No surprise at the NHL draft.
And with the first overall selection in the 2023 NHL draft, the Chicago Blackhawks are very proud to select from the Regina Pats, the Western Hockey League, Connor Bedard.
The NFL is expected to double down.
Now the NFL is saying, via its actions, we have taught you what you need to know, and if you violate these rules once again, there's going to be no sort of do-over here.
We take you around the diamond.
Still going back at the wall, looking up, see you later!
This is SportsCenter all night.
I definitely wouldn't trade him for crumble cookie, and I wouldn't trade him for a sweet potato pie, and I wouldn't trade him for bread pudding.
Here's Jay Reynolds.
Now that we're all hungry, SportsCenter all night. ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. Baseball in New York has some passionate fan bases. They expect a lot. So do the owners, as we learned on Wednesday. More on that in a moment. Yankees with high expectations this season, but starting the night 9.5 games out of first in the AL East. And, of course, Aaron Judge is still out, although he did play catch prior to Wednesday's game in Oakland. You know, another Yankee who was playing catch on Wednesday? Starting pitcher Domingo Germán.
The hitter's only allowed to step out once.
Swing and a miss. 2 away in the 7th. 20 up and 20 down for Domingo Germán.
Picking up his 9th strikeout in the 7th inning. 9 Ks, no hits at that point. In fact, as you heard, no hits and no base runners. Through 7, he'd set down all 21. Then with the excitement starting to build in the 8th, he sets Oakland down 1-2-3 on 8 pitches. Perfect through 8. And, oh, by the way, the Yankees had given him a little bit of support. They were up 11-0 on the scoreboard to the bottom of the 9th inning. Domingo Germán gets a grounder to short, a fly out to center, 26 up, 26 down.
And Germán, the righty, deals to the plate. Swung on, ground ball to third. Donaldson's up with it. He throws to first. Domingo Germán has pitched a perfect game. For the 4th time in the history of the New York Yankees, perfection attained. Germán being mobbed at home plate by a full Yankee dugout coming out to congratulate the 30-year-old from the Dominican Republic. On a chilly night in Oakland, California, Domingo Germán has tossed the 24th perfect game in Major League history.
WFAN with the call. The 30-year-old had never before thrown a complete game in the big leagues. Wednesday, Domingo Germán is perfect. 24th in history. As you heard, first in over a decade. It's the first perfect game since Felix Hernandez for Seattle in August of 2012. After the milestone achievement, Germán and his translator spoke with the Yes Network.
Wow is right, Domingo. 27 up, 27 down. Tonight you became a part of baseball history, pitching the 24th perfect game. Can you describe the emotions you're feeling right now?
Muy emocionado. So exciting. You know, when you think about something very unique in baseball, you know, and not many people have an opportunity to pitch a perfect game, to accomplish something like this in my career, you know, something that I'm going to remember forever, be part of history. So exciting.
Take me through that final pitch, that final out.
Yeah, that last inning was very different. Very different. You know, I felt an amount of pressure that I've never felt before. You know, I'm trying to visualize what I want to execute there. At the same time, I don't want to miss, you know, so much pressure, but yet so rewarding.
I saw you take a minute or two on the mound. How did you manage that pressure in the ninth?
Yeah, I think the key there was not to overthrow. You know, like I mentioned before, I was feeling the pressure in that inning, but at the same time, I wanted not to overthrow. Keep the same focus from the first inning, understand the lanes of attack that we were using during the game, and keep executing.
When did you start thinking about it?
Throughout the whole game. Throughout the whole game, you know, I just wanted to keep focus, you know, and keep balance.
What was it about your stuff that allowed you to be perfect?
Yeah, unfortunately, two days ago, an uncle of mine passed away, and you know, I cried a lot yesterday in the clubhouse. So, you know, I had him with me throughout the whole game. I was thinking about him, you know, and it happened. And it's this game it's a tribute to him.
What would he think of this?
Yeah, he would have been so happy. You know, he was always someone that really brought a joy to our family. And it happened for him to watch it this way from up there, you know, so that's it.
Domingo, congratulations. The fourth perfect game in Yankee history, 24th in MLB history. Enjoy this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Domingo Germán with the Yes Network, as you heard, fourth in Yankees history. He joins David Cone, David Wells, and Don Larson, who, of course, threw the perfect game in the 1956 World Series. Domingo Germán, first pitcher born in the Dominican Republic to pitch a perfect game. Yankees win it 11-0 over Oakland with Germán's perfect game. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio from the Yankees to the Mets. They, too, have had some lofty expectations that aren't being met, despite having the highest payroll in the history of the sport, a projected $360 million. The Mets are sub 500, fourth place in the division, 17 games back. They're also 8.5 games out of a wild card spot. Is Mets owner Steve Cohen going to blow it up?
It's been incredibly frustrating. You know, listen, I watch every game. I see what's going on. You know, I mean, if you ask me, you know, would I have expected us to be in this position at the beginning of the season, the answer is no. But here we are, and, you know, hopefully we can right the ship. And you know, listen, we have quality players. For some reason or another, they're not gelling. When we pitch well, we don't hit. When we hit, we don't pitch well. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's actually very strange to me. And I don't know if the players are anxious. I don't know if they're pressing. I mean, I assume that that's a little bit of that. We see a lot of mental errors, that what I call enforced errors. You know, obviously we can clean that up. We've lost games because of it, and there's nobody to blame, and it's really across the whole team.
So does that mean he'll be looking at making moves as the trade deadline approaches?
I'm preparing my management team for all possibilities. You know, if we don't get better, you know, we have decisions to make at the trade deadline, and that's not my preferred end result. But I'm preparing all contingencies, and we'll see where it goes. It's on the players, right? I mean, they're veterans; they've been there before. I think they're, these are, players that have done it, and we'll see if they can get their act together and string together some wins. I can't pitch and I can't hit. Okay, so that's the way it goes, and we're hoping for the best.
Mets owner Steve Cohen with growing frustration over the team's performance, preparing to make a move if he has to. ESPN insider Jeff Passan says that's what will happen too.
If the standings in late July look like the standings in late June, then the Mets are not only going to be open for business, but they're going to be the team that, above every other team in baseball, is being plundered and pillaged, because they do have really talented players and they do have guys who can make an impact.
And they've got an owner who's been trying to light a fire under his team this week. So how did that work? Mets hosting the Brewers on Wednesday.
Here's the pitch. Swinging and ground ball hit towards the middle. It's through a base hit. Anderson scores. Perkins will score. Weimer ends up at third. Some huge insurance for the Brewers to make it 5-2. Just under the glove of McNeil at second base, and Christian Yelich cashes in.
Yelich with 3 hits. He has three-hit games in June after having 3 total in April and May combined. Brewers get the 5-2 win over the Mets. 620 WTMJ with the call. For the Mets, 8th straight series that they have not won, tied for their 3rd longest streak within a season since 2000. They're 17 games behind the Braves in the NL East, their largest division deficit through 80 games since 2003. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio, 224 selections in the NHL draft, 32 of them Wednesday in the opening round. As expected, Connor Bedard goes number 1 overall to the Blackhawks. He's been a phenom in the Western Hockey League since the age of 15, led Canada to the gold medal in the World Junior Championship in January. And now at 17, he's heading to Chicago as the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Each of the top 4 picks were centers, just the 3rd time that's happened in the last 50 years. Any surprises? ESPN's John Buccigross.
Just that Fantilli was number 2 all along. Some say he would have been number 1 if Bedard wasn't here. But in the end, Pat Verbeek goes with Leo Carlsson, the big Swede, and then Columbus gets that big, powerful center they've been looking for in Adam Fantilli. So I think everybody's happy. His brother does play at Michigan. There's been rumors he might go back to play with his brother for 1 more year, but I don't know. I think this guy's going to get a taste of it. You're going to play with Johnny Gaudreau, and so I think we'll see him in Columbus. So that was the big decision that Fantilli fell to Columbus, the center they've been looking for their entire franchise history.
Is there a pick that went late that you felt like, whether it was somebody you watched play in college or internationally, like, I love this guy and where he landed?
I know you're a big college football guy. You see guys coming down the pipe, and you kind of sometimes fall in love with a guy, right? You just like how you like his game. And for me, it's Oliver Moore, the 2nd Blackhawk pick of the 1st round. This guy can absolutely wheel. He's going to bring the Minnesota Golden Gopher fans out of their seats at Mariucci. He's a sports car, just born to run, born to skate. Mom has run 10 marathons, including Boston. He's got the middle school record at St. John the Baptist in New Brighton, Minnesota. So this guy's a Minnesota kid going to play for the Gophers this fall, play with Logan Cooley, who was a 1st-round pick for Arizona last year. So I love for what Chicago did to get those 2 young studs who can really fly. And they're off to a flying start as they try to build this foundation again in Chicago. We know there'll be a free agent destination, so they'll be able to plug in a star later if they're available. So a good night for Chicago as they start the long road back to a Stanley Cup contender.
For the bulk of the names that we saw selected tonight, are they ready to do it now, or does there need to be some patience for most of these teams?
Bedard will be the only guy who, like we talked about, will get 35, 40 next year.
Okay.
After that, it takes time. It can take anywhere from 2 to 4 years, 2 to 5 years for the lower in the first round. How much can Fantilli, how much will he translate next year? That'll be fun. Will Smith is going to Boston College, Will Leo Carlsson play in North America this year or go one more year in Sweden? So it does take time. Very, very rarely a guy comes in and pops right away. That's why we've given so much attention to Connor Bedard, because he will. It's almost a guarantee.
Connor Bedard going number 1 overall in the draft on Wednesday, as expected. First round is in the books. Rounds 2 through 7 take place on Thursday. Second round begins at 11 o'clock Eastern Thursday morning. You can see it on ESPN+. So do they just run it back in L.A.? That's next. SportsCenter All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Coming up Thursday, the ESPN Radio Rankem Series continues with my top 5 rookies headed into the season. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
It's no secret that when someone stinks, it's all you remember about them.
Oh, is that you?
Oh, no, not now.
Don't worry, I got you. Try this.
And it's by Secret?
Yeah, Secret aluminum-free deodorant. It gets rid of those stinky PU pits instead of covering them up. Just swipe and you're fresh all day. Secret actually works, even aluminum-free.
Don't let be what people remember. Get your Secret in sticks or sprays.
Welcome back to Total Wine. What brings you in today?
Hey, Ruthie. I need help filling the ultimate beach cooler.
Well, we have the most hard seltzers and amazing canned cocktails anywhere, like High Noon, Cutwater, White Claw, Truly, Topo Chico, Jack Daniels & Coke, Neutral Vodka Seltzer, and Cayman Jack Zero Sugar Margarita in cans.
Wow. I'm going to be the king of the cooler.
And we have them at the lowest prices in town. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be 21.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistent scent, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
What is that?
My mortgage rate detector. I made it out of an old altimeter alarm. With Navy Federal Credit Union's no refi rate drop option, we could get a lower rate without refinancing our mortgage. So I'm keeping a close eye on mortgage rates. They're dropping. Call Navy Federal.
Buy a home, and if rates drop, you could lower your rate and save thousands. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval and eligibility requirements. Learn more at NavyFederal.org.
Whether you're doing a dance to your favorite artist in the office parking lot, or being guided into Warrior One in the break room before your shift, whether you're running on your Peloton tread at your mom's house while she watches the baby, or counting your breaths on the subway,
Inhaling and long exhaling.
Peloton is for all of us, wherever we are, whenever we need it. Download the free Peloton app today. Peloton app available through free tier or paid subscription starting at $12.99 per month.
Psst. Hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because you know I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores, all in one app, and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply. 1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply. 1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer.
Sports Center All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
Sports Center All Night presented by Progressive Insurance.
With your Rob Pelinka, LeBron James and the Lakers, you think we're a lot closer maybe than we thought we were going to be.
There's a lot of parity in the league right now, and everyone smells an opportunity to chase a championship. We're going to try our best to stay in that pack or at the head of that pack.
What they are basically doing is saying, we're giving this a chance, and I'm empowering my head coach. We're only going to get players that fit how he plays instead of getting whatever big name we can and telling our coach, make it fit.
NBA free agency is a day away, gets underway on Friday. Lakers seem optimistic about being able to contend for a title next season. General Manager Rob Pelinka making it clear this week the front office is intent on keeping the core of the team together moving forward. ESPN's Dave McMenamin.
To me, this is a smart plan, not just because they showed, as Rob Pelinka termed it, proof of concept, that they can work together and win high-leverage basketball games as they did in the spring. But if it doesn't work out, you are retaining those assets. You still have a Max Christie. You still have a Jalen Hood-Schifino, who they took at number 17. You still have the 2029 first-round pick or the 2030 first-round pick. And say you need to get off of a D'Angelo Russell or another one of these pieces, you can make that an attractive trade by attaching some of these young assets or future assets. And all of a sudden, just like last year, you retool midway through the season, and then you have an enhanced team headed towards the playoffs.
LA can keep the core together, but as for the notion of extending Anthony Davis this summer?
The entire time that Anthony Davis has been a Los Angeles Laker, it has been tied intimately to LeBron James. They traded all those young assets that they had in order to get him from New Orleans so we could pair him with LeBron. With LeBron only having 2 years left on his deal, including a player option for the second year, that would be a break from the arrangement that the Lakers have been operating under to have both those guys synced up. So I don't see what the motivation would be for them to all of a sudden change that, where they have both those guys that they no longer and they split them apart. And the concept of maybe we'll have Anthony Davis at 32, 33 years old without LeBron James potentially on the team, while paying him $50 million. To me, it doesn't make a ton of sense.
So then as the Lakers continue to work this summer, what players might they want to be targeting?
I'll give you two names. Two guys with veteran championship experience, and certainly they fill in needs with this Lakers group. Bruce Brown with the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, the Nuggets can only offer him about $7 million to stay next year. Now, that could be some sort of arrangement where they say, hey, we can only pay you $7 million this year, but no, we intend to sign you down the line and you're going to get your money then. That requires a degree of trust that sometimes you don't always see in professional sports because there's so much money at stake and what happens if a guy gets injured or something like that. And the Lakers be able to offer potentially up to $12.5 million, so almost double what he could get from the Nuggets. Or another guy you look at, Brook Lopez, championship experience with the Milwaukee Bucks. The Lakers need to address the center position this offseason. And we know how much Anthony Davis can play the center, but to get through an 82-game season, he's going to benefit by having a big body like Brook.
As a result of what the team saw during the postseason, General Manager Rob Pelinka putting an emphasis on defense and rebounding this summer. He says that's what wins championships as the team moves forward. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. Free agency does start on Friday. We could see players moving on, or we could see them return to the teams that they most recently spent time with. One of the interesting ones, of course, James Harden in Philadelphia. ESPN insider Adrian Wojnarowski.
If you're declining the option, you don't have to file any paperwork. It's just if you're opting into it. But James Harden's got 24 hours. And I think the plan, as he did his deal last year, was to go into free agency. He would opt out of the deal and then be able to do a long-term deal, presumably with the 76ers. Now, that $35 million option, listen, if he opts into that, he could be traded. The Sixers then, you're under contract, you could be moved. So I think for James Harden, he'll take it down to the wire over the next 24 hours. I think if you're James Harden and you get into free agency, you want to know that you're going to get a quick resolution with the Sixers, because the longer it drags out, money dries up elsewhere, you lose leverage. And so I think for Philadelphia, I think the real hang-up, I think the real challenge is going to be how many years on a deal. I think getting near max money, I don't think it's going to be the dollars per season, Kevin. It's going to be how many years do they want to invest in James Harden, a player who, by the way, last year took less, allowed them to bring in PJ Tucker, Daniel House, and then I think with the thought this year, he would do something more substantial long-term.
And speaking of Philly, ESPN insider Brian Windhorst says it's not rebuilding.
If they do give him the max, how many years? Because he can get 4. I can't believe that they would give him 4, but he could get it. That's where I'm sure he's going to start his ask at. And so they have Tyrese Maxey they got to deal with. Joel Embiid's contract hits the super max level this year. They got to do some maneuvering here. But I think the Sixers were not that far away. I'm seeing a lot of guys on our network drag on the Sixers. I don't think this team has to look at itself and say, oh my God, we need 7 new players. They're potent, and I think keeping Harden is a huge part of what they need to do.
ESPN's Freddie Coleman.
If I'm the Philadelphia 76ers to make sure I'm a better basketball team in the playoffs, I'm making a play for Fred VanVleet, a guy who can orchestrate your team. Tyrese Maxey can show that he is a more worthwhile number 2 to Joel Embiid that's number 1. And if Tobias Harris gets out of his feelings, he could be a quality number 3. What they need is somebody who can orchestrate and has made plays for their basketball team in winning championship situations. And we've seen Fred VanVleet do that with the Toronto Raptors.
And we'll see where he winds up this summer and what happens with James Harden as we move forward in the coming days into NBA free agency. Straight ahead, turns out he was wearing the right jersey on Wednesday. That's next. Sports Center All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Greeny. It's the greatest postseason any player ever had. It does not make him the greatest center of all time. One of the elements of becoming an all-time great player is doing it for a long time.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
When Kyle Goguen, owner of Paw Struck Dog Treats, launched his company,
I had to move back in with my parents.
Amazon marketing tools helped Paw Struck grow sales
and move out of my parents' house.
Nearly 60% of products sold come from independent sellers. Visit aboutamazon.com.
We all know it's important to buy local and support local farmers. But how do you know you're buying local? Look for this Fresh from Florida logo. No one can see that on the radio. But this is streaming radio. If you're listening behind 27 windows or tabs, click on your streaming app. Well, wait a second. That's it. The warm sun, green farmlands, and blue waters of Florida. Now take a screenshot and use it to remind you to buy Fresh from Florida. Learn more at followfreshfromflorida.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
When you download the Smiths app, you have easy access to savings every day. Shop weekly sales and get personalized coupons to get the most value out of every trip, every time, whether you shop in-store or online. Download the Smiths app now to save big. Smiths, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Smiths, fresh for everyone.
At JCPenney, we love summer celebrations and family-friendly savings. Enjoy an extra 25% off with coupon during our 4th of July sale.
Or score weekend doorbusters up to 55% off shorts, up to 60% off swim, and up to 70% off home styles. Let's get ready to celebrate. JCPenney. Offers valid on select items through 7/4. Exclusions apply. Doorbusters valid 6/30 to 7/4 and excluded from coupons. See store or jcp.com for details.
Whether you're doing a dance to your favorite artist in the office parking lot or being guided into Warrior One in the break room before your shift, whether you're running on your Peloton tread at your mom's house while she watches the baby, or counting your breaths on the subway.
Inhaling and long exhaling.
Peloton is for all of us, wherever we are, whenever we need it. Download the free Peloton app today. Peloton app available through free tier or paid subscription starting at $12.99 per month.
Don't miss July 4th savings now at Lowe's. Freshen up your home with buy one, get one 50% off on select interior and exterior paints and exterior stains via Lowe's gift card rebate. And get gardening with savings on Stay Green soil. Right now, buy 3 bags for just $10. Lowe's knows July 4th savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 7/5. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii, and selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
When I launched my business on Amazon, it was just getting off the ground, so I had to move back in with my parents.
That's Kyle Gogan, owner of Paw Struck Natural Dog Treats.
What I didn't realize was how difficult it was to actually get customers.
Then he started using Amazon marketing tools.
We grew so fast, we had to get our own warehouse, and it allowed me to move out of my parents' house.
Nearly 60% of products sold on Amazon stores come from independent sellers.
Like me.
Visit aboutamazon.com to learn more.
Welcome back to Total Wine.
Hey, Ruthie, I need help filling the ultimate beach cooler.
Well, we have the most hard seltzers and amazing canned cocktails anywhere, and at the lowest prices in town. Always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be 21. Celebrate July 4th and the beloved Red, White, and Blue.
SportsCenter All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter All Night presented by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs for protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and progressive.com.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter All Night.
Connor Bedard, as expected, the number 1 overall pick in the NHL draft Wednesday. Mets owner Steve Cohen admitting he's frustrated in New York with the lack of success to this point in the season. Successful night for the Yankees starter in Oakland.
We've talked about the pressure on the defense, Jeff. How about on the catcher? Oh, yeah. Grounded to short. Volpe, Fields, fires to the 8th we go. 21 up, 21 down for Domingo Germán. 0-1. Cued weakly to third. Donaldson. 2 outs in the 8th. Another 3-2. Grounded to third. Donaldson across the diamond. Rizzo holds on the bed. Domingo Germán, unblemished through 8 in Oakland. Shea Langoliers, the catcher, 0 for 2 tonight. A fly out and a strikeout. Fly ball, shallow center, Bader in. Buckle up. Uri Ruiz stands in his way. Grounded to third. Donaldson has it. There it is. Perfection for Domingo Germán. Domingo Germán has thrown the 24th perfect game in baseball history. The 4th perfect game in Yankees history.
What it sounded like on the Yes Network in New York. 4th perfect game in Yankees history. And as you heard, 24th in baseball history. The first since Felix Hernandez threw one against Tampa Bay in August of 2012. There were actually 3 that season. And then none until Domingo Germán finished the no-hitter. The perfect game on Wednesday in Oakland. An 11-0 win for the Yankees over the A's. You heard at the beginning of that, it's kind of tough on the catcher as well. There's pressure on the pitcher, pressure on the catcher. And on the receiving end of this perfect game, Yankees catcher Kyle Higashioka.
Kyle, Domingo just spoke about the pressure that he felt in that ninth inning. What type of pressure were you feeling in that ninth inning?
A lot. I just took a couple extra seconds to, press the button on each of those pitches because you just don't want to mess it up. But, he was fantastic tonight, and, he deserves all the credit.
What is this moment like for you?
I'm just happy for Domingo. He's had a rough last couple starts, and he's kind of been dragging a little bit. And just for him to do this and get back to being himself, I kind of always felt like of anyone, he has a really good chance to do something like this. And for it to all come together tonight is just amazing.
He had said that he was thinking about it all game. When did you start thinking about it? This could be a game where he's perfect.
Well, after the fifth, I kind of was like, okay, I was putting 2 and 2 together, thinking that, we were still going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And, but I didn't really start feeling really nervous till the ninth. Just so much can happen that's out of your control, like a blooper or whatever, that, it's tough to really worry about it until it's like that last inning where it's definitely there for the taking.
Last inning, final out. Can you just describe what you were feeling when it was over and you knew that he had secured the 24th perfect game in baseball history?
Yeah, it was just incredible. Just a feeling almost of relief, because you don't ever want to let the pitcher down in that situation, and for him to get that is just fantastic.
Domingo Germán, first player in Major League Baseball to throw a perfect game after allowing double digits in runs in his previous start. It's been an up and down season, as you heard alluded to on the Yes Network there. Domingo Germán even served a suspension for substance on his hands after being too sticky. And then he comes out Wednesday and throws the fourth perfect game in Yankees franchise history. 24 now across Major League Baseball. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. Speaking of putting up double-digit runs, Yankees put up 11 in the win over Oakland. White Sox also putting up 11.
Juan doubled and scored his last time up, and he shoots one out into left center for a base hit. Should score at least 2. Benintendi crosses home plate. Anderson right behind him. Here comes Robert. It's a 3-run double. 8-2.
It would be an 11-5 win for the White Sox over the Angels. ESPN 1000 in Chicago. White Sox have won 3 of the last 5 games after losing 4 of the previous 5. White Sox 5th time scoring in double digits this season. Then the Guardians did it as well.
The pitch. And he swings and lines one to deep left field. This ball is gone! It's a line drive, grand slam home run into the Cleveland bullpen in left. And Jose Ramirez with the first grand slam of the year for Cleveland. His 5th career grand slam.
2 for 3 with that homer and 5 RBI. The grand slam coming in the 3rd inning for Jose Ramirez. Guardians go on to a 14-1 win over the Royals. Tom Hamilton calling it on WTAM in Cleveland. The 14 runs scored, most in the game for Cleveland this season. Royals, meanwhile, 22-58 through 80 games this year. Worst 80-game start in franchise history. Astros with double digits on the scoreboard.
1-2. And Altuve ropes it pretty deep to left field. It sends back Donovan, still going back at the wall. Looking up. See you later! A go-ahead 3-run homer for Jose Altuve. And the Astros lead it 8-7. The 1-1. And Abreu smokes it out to center field. Carlson going back, still going back. Looking up. See you later! Jose Abreu goes deep to right center. A 2-run shot. And it is 10-7 Astros.
Astros going up 10-7 there, and that would be the final. KBME with the call. Cardinals led 7-5 entering the 8th inning. 16th blown save this season. Astros with the 10-7 win, 17 combined runs, most in a matchup between the two teams in a decade. For the 5th time this season, Houston scores in double digits. Jose Altuve, 9th career game, reaching base safely 5 times. Cardinals, 2nd loss this season when leading by 2 runs or more, entering the 8th. Rays a 3-2 win over the Diamondbacks. Arizona 3 losses after leading by multiple runs in the 9th inning or later. That's the most in Major League Baseball. Rays 3rd win this season after trailing in the 9th inning. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. Football, the NFL is finalizing discipline for a number of people linked to gambling violations. The NFL finalizing the disciplinary action against more players, including Isaiah Rodgers. Colts cornerback kick returner expected to receive a season-long suspension, sources telling ESPN. The NFL saying last week that it planned to reinforce the gambling policy to players ahead of the upcoming season. There were some no-brainers in what the NFL was saying to players and a couple head-scratching ones, which NFL Executive Vice President of Communications Jeff Miller addressed when he joined Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
These rules have existed for a long time. The 2 primary rules, which are don't bet on the NFL, don't bet $1, don't make a prop bet, don't bet on a game, yours or anybody else's or the draft, anything related to the NFL, and secondly, don't bet at work. Those have been around for a very long time. What's changed is the legal landscape. In 2018, 5 years ago, the Supreme Court overturned the prohibition on sports gambling. And since that time, 39 states have made it legal. And as a result, it's much more available to people than it used to be. The advent of an app on your phone makes it even more available, just the touch of a screen, and you can make a bet. So part of our effort here is to make sure that everybody associated with the game, coaches, players, club personnel, league personnel, many hundreds or thousands of people are aware of the rules all the time so they don't make a mistake when it comes to gambling around the NFL, given how much has changed around sports gambling in just the last few years.
Jeff, I certainly understand not betting on the league in which you play in or in not obviously betting on your team and things of that nature. I totally get it at the team facility, things like that. But what I'm having a hard time understanding is betting on other sports. If you decide you're sitting in your hotel room for 12 hours waiting on the game to come and the Boston Celtics are playing against Toronto Raptors and you want to place a bet on basketball, which is not in your league at all, but it's at the hotel, like why is that any different than being at home in placing that bet?
Well, it's a good question. It's one that we get from time to time when we go around talking to the players. There's a difference between activities you can do at work and those you can do when you're off the clock. And if you're on a work trip, you're working. If you're at the facility, you're working. And when you're at home, you're at home. And we all know there's plenty of rules that govern the workplace, the things that we cannot do when we're at work, that we can do when we're at home. And gambling is one of them. These rules were made, the specific one you mentioned, Keyshawn, was made in discussions with Players Association around the contours of what we wanted to permit or not permit. And in this case, some of the things that you're prohibited to do at work, you can do at home. And we just need to make sure that the players and others are aware of what those rules are so they don't make a mistake inadvertently.
And making a mistake could cost players a season. A handful of them could be sitting out the upcoming season. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. The upcoming season in the NHL should include Connor Bedard taken number 1 overall in the NHL draft on Wednesday.
Personally, you never know what's going to happen, and for it to be Chicago and to kind of be able to be that stand up, hug my parents, hug my sister, and be here with a lot of friends and family is so special, and what an organization to go to. So I couldn't be happier to be a Blackhawk.
I asked Victor what I'm going to ask you. You guys are seen as generational talents, the type of players that organizations like the Blackhawks wait a long time for in the hope that they arrive. And when you do, to a degree, you show up with a bit of a bullseye on your sweater, don't you? And I wonder, Connor, what you most look forward to about the opportunity to get out with the best in the world and show who exactly you are.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, this is a big next couple of months of training and kind of getting ready for camp and of course trying to make the team, and if that happens, then getting to play in the best league in the world, the league I've always dreamed of playing would be unreal. So this is a big step in the journey. And, like I said, for Chicago being, confident enough in me to take me with that pick is awesome, and can't wait to kind of get started in Chicago.
Now, I'm pretty sure you're going to make the team, but I understand what you're saying. There's work to be done. And for you personally, between now and the fall, where is the focus of the attention of the work? I need to get better where?
It's always everything. I think that's something that, I'm always coming into every summer, every offseason. I want to be, better than I was when the season ended to when the season's starting. So that's big, but to try to make the NHL, I think it's such a fast-paced game. It's the best players in the world, best skaters in the world. So I think getting faster and more powerful, stronger, and everything is really huge for me.
How much do you know about Chicago? It's a proud franchise. It wasn't that long ago that they were hoisting cups, but you're a young man, so it was a while ago for you. So your knowledge about what the Blackhawks and what Chicago in spring can be like.
All I really know is that, they love their teams, they love their sports, and the support I've gotten in the last, 30, 45 minutes is already incredible. So, I got to grow up watching them win cups and, be a competitive team for so long. So, hopefully I can contribute to that. And, I can't wait, like I said, to, kind of get there, see the fans, and the support has been unbelievable.
Connor Bedard goes number 1 in the NHL draft. Folks comparing the talent levels to a guy like Victor Wembanyama, who went number 1 overall in the NBA draft. 2 no-brainers at the top of their respective drafts this spring and into the summer. Straight ahead, haven't seen her since the Olympics. She's back. Sports Center All Night continues at ESPN Radio.
Coming up Thursday, as free agency approaches, I'll tell you what your favorite team needs to do if they actually want to contend for a title. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
ESPN Radio Sports Center All Night. More next.
Imagine this. You just got to the hotel and the whole family is ready to jump in that pool. But your sunscreen? Vanished. No sweat. Use Instacart to add SPF to cart and get delivery in as fast as 1 hour. Travel well with Instacart. Shop thousands of stores across the country to get what you need wherever you are. Visit instacart.com to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply. Instacart. Add life to cart.
1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores all in one app and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply.
At Fogo de Chão, you don't need a reason to celebrate, but here are some ideas. It's the anniversary of your cousin's 3rd date. Slice into a tender double-cut pork chop. You mowed the lawn today. A rich bone-in ribeye aged 21 days just for this moment. And why not have Fogo host your housewarming party with decadent lamb picanha marinated in white wine. And they're all included at one price. That alone is reason to celebrate. Make a reservation at Fogo.com.
There's a reason you aren't satisfied with the ordinary. You were made for adventure. A life with God doesn't have to be boring. It can be a pulse-pumping, heart-pounding life of purpose. And we can guide you there. The adventure awaiting you is bigger and more life-giving than you could ever imagine. Join Crossroads Church every weekend online for challenge, hope, and encouragement to guide you on your spiritual adventure. Join us at crossroads.net.
Santel Family Moving and Storage is Central Florida's trusted source for local and long-distance moving services. From packing to delivery, Santel Moving is fully licensed and insured to provide you a seamless moving experience door-to-door. You'll be enjoying a peaceful new dinner in your new home in no time. So for your next move, choose Santel Moving, the movers who will meet your needs anytime, anywhere. Get a quote today at CentelMoving.com. That is CENTO moving.com. Santel Family Moving and Storage. Forget the stress, move with the best.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep. And a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements. Learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better. Night after night. Sleep next level. Only from Sleep Number.
The Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is now only $8.99. Plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends 4th of July.
Dr. Rick here. Another sign you're becoming your parents is getting particular about details that don't matter.
Sports Center All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
We're taking you to Key, Jay, and Max, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, ESPN Radio. Simone Biles is back, the gymnast planning to return to competition at the U.S. Classic outside Chicago in early August. The meet will be her first since the pandemic-delayed Tokyo Olympics, when she took herself out of several events to focus on mental health. She returned on the last day to earn a bronze medal on the balance beam, her 7th career Olympic medal. Who will we see in New York when the dust settles? Or if it doesn't settle, when the trade deadline hits? Mets owner Steve Cohen admitting he's frustrated. He's preparing his staff to consider all options. So what's the mood now in the Big Apple? ESPN's June Lee.
There is a definite sense of people thinking about the possibility of getting traded. I had a conversation with someone on the Mets who, before the season, rented a 3-bedroom apartment because he thought there was no chance that this team, come the trade deadline, would be out of playoff contention. And he was telling me, we might be in a spot where I kind of regret getting this massive apartment because he might get traded. There was another conversation I had with a member of the Mets bullpen where they're just contemplating the fact that they might not be living in New York come 2 months from now. And so that's generally the sense of the Mets clubhouse at the current moment. There's a lot of guys thinking about the next couple of weeks. If the team does not perform, this team might not be together for very much longer.
And the Mets losing again on Wednesday. As for the top sounds from Wednesday, let's say hello to Mark Robbins.
Number 5.
Hello there, Jay. We're going to get started with the best from the diamond. And the visiting Rays doing damage in Arizona. 620 WDAE in Tampa.
2-0 pitch. There's a drive way back in right field. This ball is gone. Frazier onto the flag court, and we got a brand new ball game. A no-doubter off the bat of Adam Frazier.
Number 4.
In Baltimore, the Orioles in the midst of a rally in the 8th on WBAL.
Here's the payoff pitch. And Friedel hits it in the air, right field. Santander going back, looks up, and gone! T.J. Friedel, his second home run in as many games. 10-7 Reds on the 2-run blast over the right field wall.
Number 3.
For Cincinnati, the Reds go extra to beat those Orioles. Listen up to 700 WLW.
Here's the payoff pitch. And Friedel hits it in the air, right field. Santander going back, looks up, and gone! T.J. Friedel, his second home run in as many games. 10-7 Reds on the 2-run blast over the right field wall.
Number 2.
At Wrigley Field, the Phillies were stealing the show against the Cubs. Sports Radio 94 WIP.
0-1, he's going. And the pitch swung on, blasted. Left field, going back on it is Happ at the Ivies, looking up, and it's into the basket. And Nick Castellanos with a 3-run home run. Just had enough. And it's his 10th home run of the season, and the Phillies now lead it 5-0.
Number 1.
And finally, the Yankees, Domingo Germán wears the number 0. Appropriate, because that's all the A's could put up against the Yankees starter on the Yes Network.
Uri Ruiz stands in his way. Grounded to third. has thrown the 24th perfect game in baseball history. The 4th perfect game in Yankees history.
Just over a month ago, Herman had been suspended 10 games by baseball for using too much rosin against the Blue Jays. Told reporters a week later he would use less rosin and apologize to his teammates. And, of course, that certainly helps when you throw a perfect game in Oakland. His manager, Aaron Boone.
He's definitely been through a lot and, taken ownership of a lot and works really hard to it's important to him to be a good teammate and a good guy, and he works hard to do that. And I think even as we've talked about a lot this year, going back to this winter, I felt like he had a really meaningful winter of just work and purpose and focus, and came in a really good place, and he's carried that throughout the season to this point.
And throws a perfect game against the A's in Oakland. Braves a 3-0 shutout of the Twins. 55 homers in the month of June for Atlanta, and they do it in their 5th straight win. They've won 20 of the last 23 overall. Meanwhile, with Cleveland winning, the Twins finish a day not leading the AL Central for the first time since April. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio. NBA free agency starts Friday. Number of decisions to be made. A lot of eyes on Draymond Green and the Warriors. Golden State still a championship caliber team. ESPN insider Brian Windhorst.
If they're bringing Draymond Green back, they are definitely a championship caliber team. I know if you could make the argument that their ceiling has been lowered a little bit because without Jordan Poole, they don't have the same overall firepower that they did when they won the title last year. And they're probably going to lose Dante DiVincenzo, who opted out of his contract yesterday and is probably going to be looking for more money elsewhere. But when you still have Steph Curry, still putting up prime numbers, you have Draymond Green, you have Andrew Wiggins, who's found a terrific role there. You have Klay Thompson, who I agree is not the player he was before the injuries, but still has terrific firepower. You are talking about an awesome team. They were in 6th seed last year because Steph got hurt. Twice he missed stretches during the season. They weren't in the 6th seed because there were 5 teams better than them in the Western Conference. Denver is obviously going to come back as the favorite, but if you count them out, I don't think that you're looking at it fairly.
Draymond situation, certainly one of the ones we're keeping an eye on. That's going to do it for SportsCenter all night. I'm Jay Reynolds. It's Thursday, June 29th, birthday of Kawhi Leonard, who turns 32 today. He and Paul George have been called one of the biggest subplots in the NBA. They're both extension eligible. Of course, free agency starts tomorrow. Up next, more reaction to last night's Perfecto. Key, Jay, and Max are next. It's ESPN Radio.
Coming up next, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
With Instacart, I can get everything I need for summer delivered right to my door in as fast as an hour. I can add charcoal to cart, add chips to cart, add bug spray to cart. Gotcha. Add fast, convenient delivery to cart. Add summer to cart. Download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
1,872. That's how many hours there are in summer. With Instacart, you can make the most of your summer by shopping over 1,000 stores, all in one app, and pay with the security of PayPal at checkout. Download the app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. New Instacart customers also get $25 off your order of $75 with code PayPalNew25 through September 30th. Additional terms apply.
What goes great with summer? Olukai sandals, that's what. And you know Olukai quality. That straight out of the box comfort you love? Olukai sandals have it. The Hawaiian-inspired designs and water-friendly materials you expect from us? They've got that too. Olukai even come with a 1-year warranty, free shipping, and free returns. So go ahead, enjoy anywhere aloha by visiting olukai.com and start summer in style. These aren't flip-flops, they're Olukai.
Hey shoppers, this is your local farmer letting you know that Florida watermelon is in season and available in the produce section right now. Whoa, hey, careful now. There's plenty of juicy watermelon and other tasty Florida-grown produce for everyone. I mean, all you have to do is ask for Fresh from Florida or look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo while you shop.
We're going to need a lot more help at checkout.
Hey there, firecracker. Want to light up this 4th of July with a flawless tan? Palm Beach Tan is here for it. Now through July 5th, virtually everything is on sale. $1 sunbed tans, 2-pack spray tan specials. Join for only $5. Plus 25% off skincare, including Australian Gold. Glow up before you show up to all the 4th of July parties. Palm Beach Tan. Embody your true colors.
Whether you're doing a dance to your favorite artist in the office parking lot, or being guided into Warrior One in the break room before your shift, whether you're running on your Peloton tread at your mom's house while she watches the baby, or counting your breaths on the subway,
Inhaling and long exhaling.
Peloton is for all of us, wherever we are, whenever we need it. Download the free Peloton app today. Peloton app available through free tier or paid subscription starting at $12.99 per month.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Breathe in, breathe out. Get dressed, head out. Grab some friends, camp out. Get hiked up, vibe out. Take it in, let it all out. At REI Co-op, we're here for all the outs. And we want you to spend more time outside our doors and in them. Try it out, check out, then get out. REI Co-op, all out. Visit rei.com.
This 4th of July, put on a show for the whole neighborhood. With a yard of vibrant flowers, plants, and vegetables from the Home Depot. Save on a variety of plants for your celebration with red, white, and dew savings.
Look who's here. None other than our good friend Diana Rossini, ESPN NFL reporter. What's going on, Diana?
Yo, Diana, question for you.
What do you got? Oh.
When you're at a red light,
Yes.
okay, and the light turns green, how many Mississippis do you count before you go?
Oh, I don't even get to. I'm just.
And let's say you're in the car behind the person who's at the light. How many Mississippis?
I would probably say 5.
5 Mississippis?
I am a patient young woman.
Five Mississippis?
Guys, this is gross.
I said 4. I could be where I want to go in 5 Mississippis.
I cannot accept this.
If someone is dealing with either a baby in the car or they're texting, maybe they just need a little time to themselves.
I literally just
I've been there,
told them
Jay.
that.
I just sit at stoplights. If no one's behind me, I turn the car off, shut my eyes.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. Morning, Jay.
What up, baby? I still can't get down with 5 Mississippi.
Mississippi?
That's absurd.
What's
2?
When
One Mississippi, 2 Mississippis.
Yeah.
I'm laying on the horn.
Laying on it? I'm just giving you a light little
beep,
beep.
beep.
Yeah.
Like, just wake up.
Yeah. I can see you go to 3. I can see 3 is very polite. After that, come on, man.
4 Mississippis, 5. Like, just to look at the intersection, left and right. I can't.
I came up with this theory because I asked the question rhetorically yesterday when I lived in LA. When the light turns red, no one takes that as a suggestion. That's a command. Like, you have to stop. You can't think about it. You got to stop. Why is it any different when it turns green? It turns green. It's not saying, hey, you may go. It says you have to go. Why did people take that as a suggestion?
So I caught myself yesterday, literally in the city at a red light. I found myself on Instagram Reels, and I was definitely way more than 5 Mississippis, and people started laying at me.
And you acknowledge
I was
it,
watching
right?
the Unc Neff show on IG. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
by the way, it's one of the best shows there is out there.
This dude basically has an
The
uncle.
real
He's
Mike-
like,
Yo.
the world has to see this guy. Yeah.
He said this is the most erroneous stuff.
Yeah,
So I found myself in that, not paying attention to the light.
And when they honked at you, you knew you had the moral low ground, correct?
It almost made me want to jump out of my car. I felt like I was just.
You felt sorry.
Yeah, I felt like I had to rush.
I don't
You know
get
what I mean?
mad if someone honks at me and I look up and it's been green for a while. I'm not offended. I give them the hand. Hey, my bad. Because I know if it was me, I'd be mad.
See, I don't have time for the hand. I don't have time to put down my window. Then if the window,
No, you don't put down the hand. You just go like that.
But it's just too much work if I put the window down.
No, I would agree about the window. Don't roll down the window.
In New York, though, it's not just one driver. There's multiple. There's not one car behind you going boop boop. It's everybody going. Come on.
The thing I don't like with the horns, because in LA, it's the height of rudeness. If you touch your horn for some reason, you could be about to hit somebody with the car. If you touch your horn, people get offended. But in New York, the one time I really don't like people laying on their horn, really don't like it, where that person's in the wrong, someone's getting out, like a cab, an Uber, a car stops. The person has to get out and enter a building, right? And their car's zooming behind them. They start laying on the horn. Come on, man. What do you want them to do? You want them to jump and roll out of the car and just as the car is going? What do you want them to do?
You know why I love North Carolina, though? No lie. This happened to me in my junior year of college. Literally was at a light, was not paying attention. Dude pulled up next to me in the car and gave me one like, hey, the light's green. I was like, oh my God, you guys are so nice. What
Southern
the hell is going on
hospitality
here in the South? I like this.
Yeah, that's right.
Talk to me like I'm a normal person. Please go ahead.
Everyone's taken. And then Diana put me up on something where the light is good in the car at the light, so people take selfies and stuff.
I never knew about that.
I don't know.
I never knew about the 101 photography.
Me neither.
By yourself.
Meantime, free agency kicks off
tomorrow,
6 p.m.
Ooh, Max.
So there are only 2 free agents, which is weird this year. I don't know why. It's just Kyrie and Harden, and there's no one else to talk about. Oh, there are other free agents too? So look, everyone knows Kyrie and Harden, and Kyrie, it was, yesterday it was on social media all over the place. Kyrie's going to take meetings with other teams, and this, he's going to explore free agency.
Let him explore. He has leverage with Dallas. Massive leverage. Because you're going to let Jalen Brunson walk? You let Jalen Brunson walk, and now you're going to let Kyrie Irving walk?
Massive leverage is
Can't
interesting.
do that.
Who do you think there are teams out there who would give Kyrie the most money they could give him?
I mean, I think there are a couple, but I guess this is what Kyrie Irving wants at the end of the day. Do I think there are NBA contenders out there that would give Kyrie Irving the bag that he would want? No, I think Dallas is the one team. And if you are Kyrie, you take meetings with other teams just to ensure that Dallas gives you the most money as possible.
Well, couldn't
right?
Dallas outbid other teams without giving him the biggest bag they could give him? Isn't that
isn't
really
that the biggest bag?
No, I'm saying
outbidding
they
other
could
teams?
if they went to the maximum dollars they're allowed. But what if that's not where they are right now? That's why Kyrie probably is the case. Why Kyrie is now exploring free agency to try to jack that number up as high as possible. What if he can't? What if through free agency, people are like, we're not giving you that much money over that many years. We don't trust that you'll be available.
I don't think it's, well, he's done everything right for Dallas. He's been there for Dallas. He showed up to every
short
game.
stint, true. But by the way, in a contract year, a very short stint.
If you're Dallas, you can play hardball as much as you want. I mean, I guess it depends on how much can you pay Kyrie with still putting the team in a position to have extra dollars to go contend for a title.
Boy, did Cuban mess this up.
What do you mean he
Mark
messed it up?
Mark Cuban let Jalen Brunson walk.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's
for
why I said
pennies
before.
on. Really could have, and then was forced to get rid of his depth. They had nice balance on that team offensively and defensively. He had to get rid of that in order to bring Kyrie in, who may not even be as good for Luka, probably isn't as Jalen Brunson was. And now you have to pay Kyrie, so you may lose more depth.
That's what we had said when the deal was done in the first place.
No doubt. I'm just reflecting on it. By the way, like when he let Steve Nash walk out the door, but penny wise and pound foolish. He thought Nash is getting a little older. I don't want to pay him that much money. Imagine if he'd have been there the whole time with Dirk.
Where you start learning about the competitive identity of the team, and that's who Jalen Brunson was, right? That was the DNA of the team.
Look what happened to the Knicks. Immediately, they get competitive.
Like, just the thought of like floating Dante DiVincenzo, who opted out of his deal, potentially joining the Knicks with Josh Hart, and then a guy like Jalen Brunson, you're like, oh, why wouldn't I want this Villanova trio on the same squad?
Right. Why
not? They all make each other better, right? So, I mean, look, I think Dallas will inevitably be the home for a guy like Kyrie Irving. I think that's where he can max out dollar-wise, and he can still put the right pieces potentially around him to help them get there. A guy like Grant Williams, who is a free agent, would be somebody that I would suggest a guy like
Boston
Dallas
forward,
would go pick up, right? He kind of gives you a alternative version of Draymond Green. Draymond Green is another agent who opted out of his deal, big-time free agent.
You know what they need? They need like a Dorian Finney-Smith type in Dallas. That would be perfect.
Like a Grant Williams.
Yeah, but I mean, like they had it. They had everything they needed. They just needed to let Brunson keep Brunson. So Wendy said the other day, said something about Cleveland. I shouldn't even say anything, as Wendy does.
I got one other free agent for you. That's a really big one.
Okay.
And I think it's depending upon what happens with him, will inevitably get to the point of whether I think this superstar stays at this location for a long period of time. Brooke Lopez is one of the low-key biggest names out there.
I totally agree.
Low-key, I mean, he's not going to have the same like pizzazz as like we're going to talk about Dame or Kyrie or James Harden.
What team would Brooke Lopez not work on? He's a 7-foot rim defender who can hit threes at a high volume.
And I don't know how, if you're Golden State, how you don't. I mean, granted, if they have the cap space, right? I mean, they have to have the cap space to do so, but you just think about him with Steph, with CP3, in pick and roll, a rim protector, a guy that can space the floor. Like, I'm not saying they have the cap space to go do it, but basketball skill set wise,
oh my God,
he fits there better than any other team in the league.
Now, he fits so well that it's almost, now it's like, it's 5 out. Draymond has the ball, right? And everyone else can shoot the lights out.
Draymond can use him in a pick and roll.
100%.
Like, come here, forward to forward. How are you going to guard that?
I don't know if they can afford it, but I love the idea of Brooke Lopez on.
But it leads to the
Warriors.
Conversation, though, Max.
Yeah.
Down the line, that if Milwaukee loses a guy like Brooke Lopez, if you're Giannis, who has his extension coming up, like, do you sign that contract extension? Do you sign it? Or are you looking at your team and saying, wait, hold on. Everybody else is, I see what moves are being made in Boston. I see what moves are being made other places. Are we doing enough to keep my name at the forefront conversation of winning championships? It leads to that conversation.
If he signs the extension, it'll be because he's pulling that move where you sign the extension, then you ask for a trade. But if he looks around and goes, but wait a minute, if I sign the extension and ask for a trade, I'm going to weaken whatever team I go to because they're going to have to give up assets. If I just don't sign the extension and sign with a team like, say, the Knicks, right? All of a sudden, oh my God, I'm the biggest star in basketball by far. Giannis goes to the Knicks, it's a wrap. He's the face of basketball worldwide. And he's one of them now, but that does it. And the kind of platform through which he can amplify his brand in New York City would make up for the difference by not signing the super duper max in
That's
Milwaukee.
what I'm saying. Like, over the next several days, there's so much that could pop off. Like Fred VanVleet, like another one, like a Rich Paul client, right? Like what moves, where could he potentially go?
Notable NBA free agents on ESPN2 right now: Kyrie, James Harden, Draymond Green, Chris Middleton, Russell Westbrook, Brooke Lopez, Fred VanVleet, Kyle Kuzma, who had a very good season, Austin Reeves, and Bruce Brown, who we saw was tremendous in the playoffs.
Lakers, potentially. You're telling me if you could add Bruce Brown with Austin Reeves, with Rui Hachimura, with LeBron, with AD, with some pieces that you can fit in, if you can get a guy like Javon Carter, are you kidding me? He's the perfect guard for them. He is the answer for them. He's a playmaker. He can get people in the position on the floor. He's a lockdown defender that adds to your defensive team. If you're the Lakers, I'll be going after Bruce Brown in a heartbeat.
Bruce Brown is the exact guy.
He's your guard version.
What's he going to get on the market?
Can shoot. Come on.
What's he going to get on the open market, though, Jay?
12, 13 million.
That's it.
You open up that cap space.
I'm trying to look regular season numbers here. So he played 28 minutes a game.
You don't even need to give me numbers.
28 minutes. I'm just looking at how.
Give me the energy and effort
100%
on the floor. And by the way, go guard Jamal Murray. You just play with him. Go guard him. You know his tendencies better than anybody. You know their sets better than anybody. That would be one of the biggest steals that Rob Pelinka could pull off.
The reason I brought up Wendy before is because he said something big is happening and potentially could happen in Cleveland, right? So people interpreted that all kinds of ways. And when you brought up Kyrie Irving, one person said, oh, LeBron's going to go home, right? That's one thought you have. He'll meet Kyrie there. Bronny will wind up in Cleveland, like that whole thing. Or is it going to be Donovan Mitchell's going to get traded? You think, is there any world in which Cleveland would be interested in Kyrie as a free agent?
See, I think about Cleveland potentially trading guys like Darius Garland and Jared Allen back to Brooklyn. I look at deals like that. I don't know if I see all the hoopla of LeBron going back to Cleveland.
Right, but once you trade
I know we
guys
have reckless
back
speculation.
to Brooklyn, now you need something from Brooklyn. What are you getting from Brooklyn?
We'll talk about that when we come back.
888-SAY-ESPN. As the Heat wait for Dame to ask for a trade, should they consider kicking the tires on Zach LaVine, KJM?
Would actually be the perfect timing for Portland to move on now that they do have the heir apparent. The best thing he can do is leave the Trailblazers. If Damian Lillard says, I don't think we can win with this roster, then I'm going to say, what's your choice? Do you want out?
This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
What goes great with summer? Olukai sandals, that's what. And they deliver comfort unlike anything you've ever experienced. Feel the comfort risk-free with free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges plus a 1-year warranty by visiting Olukai.com. These aren't flip-flops, they're Olukai.
Take control of your health and your wallet at healthfinder.fl.gov. Your one-stop shop to compare medical facilities in your area. From copays to x-rays, asthma treatment, and ultrasounds, healthfinder.fl.gov gives you a straight answer on cost and lets you compare against providers. Choose wisely. Live healthy at healthfinder.fl.gov. Paid for by the Agency for Healthcare Administration.
Carl's Jr. is warning you. The El Diablo burger is back and blazing with flavor with charbroiled beef, bacon, jalapenos, pepper jack, and fiery habanero sauce. The kind of heat that makes grown men sweat. Your mouth will be on fire. Your mouth will cry. Just tell your mouth, El Diablo made you do it. My rewards members can set their mouth on fire for just $6.66 in the Carl's Jr. app with a one-time offer for an El Diablo single. Tax not included. Limit 1. See app for terms.
Time for a Celsius vibe check. It's the Celsius Tropical Vibe Starfruit Pineapple Edition. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. What's your vibe?
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the ultra smooth, ultra powerful iPhone 11 for $49.99.
He didn't stutter.
See every angle with dual cameras.
Make it a double.
All on America's largest 5G networks.
Large and in charge, baby.
Get with the power of Boost and get the iPhone 11 for $49.99.
That's half a Benjamin.
Boost Mobile.
Unleash your power.
ID verification required. New customers only at 1 per line. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep. And a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements. Learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better. Night after night. Sleep next level. Only from Sleep Number. The Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is now only $8.99. Plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends 4th of July.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Are you ready for a new era of education? Discover West Coast University.
Would actually be the perfect timing for Portland to move on now that they do have the heir apparent.
I hear a lot of speculation around Draymond Green and Dame Lillard spending a lot of time together. Can that be possible for Golden State?
The best thing he can do is leave the Trailblazers because maybe he can go somewhere where he has the shot at the championship he obviously wants. If Damian Lillard says, I don't think we can win with this roster, then I'm going to say, what's your choice? Do you want out? And let him make the decision right there.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance.
So, Max, yesterday, Nuno and I were talking, and the conversation went to a really intriguing place. And he dropped to me, which I thought was like I really found myself thinking about it last night because I love the angle of attack, and I love the pressure it then puts on Dame to make a decision, to force the hand of the Trailblazers and Joe Cronin to tell them, this is where I want to be. That's it. It's done. If you're Pat Riley and you're the Miami Heat And word is on the street that you're waiting to see how free agency unfolds. Why wouldn't you low-key be connecting and reaching out to Chicago and seeing what it's going to take to get Zach LaVine to come down to Miami? Obviously, you have an asset like Tyler Hero. Obviously, you have some guys like, Max Strus, and, I'm not saying you want to give up the entire cupboard and some picks, but if you're looking at that, you're saying Zach LaVine is different than Dame, but he ain't that far off, man. He's another prolific scorer, a guy that can do it off the dribble. His playmaking ability may not be the same as Dame, but the thought of having Zach LaVine, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo in the same squad in the East will be enough for me to contend with the likes of Boston. And then you're all saying you're still waiting to see what Philadelphia has to do. Then you're still waiting to see what Milwaukee has to do. But for a team that's already there, it gives them enough to get over the hump, because I think Zach is that prolific scorer that can create off the bounce, and that's also what they were missing. And he's more seasoned than a guy like Tyler Hero.
So you tell me if I'm wrong.
And it puts pressure on Dame to say, yo, we got this right here. What do you want to do? Are you in or are you out?
I think it's a great idea, and I think Zach LaVine would be tremendous. And he was a point guard. He was at UCLA and all that. He can play both guard positions. He's really more of an off guard to me, though, and I'll tell you why. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. When you say, by the way, a lot of Lillard's points come from deep. A lot of Zach LaVine's do, too. And Zach LaVine can finish way over the rim, and Lillard can finish in the paint. But when you say he can create off the bounce, kind of. I don't see him. If I were to say, what could you do to make Zach LaVine an elite player? I don't even think it's like, well, you saw the assist numbers. Damian Lillard's a natural point guard, and Zach LaVine, plays off ball, can play on ball. Zach LaVine, to me, doesn't have that same create off the bounce type thing that a guy like Lillard does, like that the elite players do. He's like one notch below that because of that to me. But it's dressed up like a guy who does that a little bit to me when I watch LaVine.
Oh, he's not dressed up. I mean, he's filthy. He's not as filthy as Dame, but he's filthy.
Right. Yeah. I know, but not like a Damian Lillard.
But it's like when you're trying to acquire somebody, and obviously everybody knows that you want them, there has to be a backup plan.
Yeah.
It can't be like, I'm just waiting for this guy to be available, but what if he doesn't choose us? Like, and then I'm stuck sitting on my hands.
And by the way,
I have to make other moves. And if that move applies slight pressure to force you to make a move, then so be it.
So it's a package around Tyler Hero and draft pick.
Yes.
Okay. So it's basically Zach LaVine in the rotation. You swap out Tyler Hero for Zach LaVine. That's an upgrade. LaVine, Butler, Bam is a big three. That's an official
and I'm trying
three.
To retain guys like Gabe Vincent. I think Gabe Vincent is my PG.
The difference is if Dame Lillard's on that team, I think I'm picking him in the East. And if Zach LaVine's on the team, I think that they're one of the top three teams. It's a little different.
I get what the gap is, but there are chances that you're not going to get Dame. So
you're just saying
the
apply
reality
pressure.
The reality of the situation is that if we don't get Dame, I'd much rather end up with Zach LaVine than end up with nothing.
Apply pressure and get better. That does both things.
Yeah, you can do both.
It does both things. One of the things that I like at least theoretically, and I know their personalities are very different, and Dame is, exactly who you want to build your franchise around, and Kyrie's been unreliable. Sometimes if you have a player, the reason I asked you earlier, Cleveland, when Wendy says, I hear things about Cleveland, is it possible that could be a destination for Kyrie? Well, they have Garland. They have this. Sometimes if you have something really, really good, but there's something out there that you can pick up just for the cash, right? If you replace the good thing you have with the thing that's out there that approximates them, then you can use the good thing you have to go out and get something else you need. I apply that theory to Portland. If you have Damian Lillard, and I know what this sounds like, believe me, and you think you're going to lose him, is there any world in which you go, if we turn Damian Lillard into Kyrie, who's a little bit younger and a little bit more skillful, in fact, then even if you'd rather have Lillard for other reasons, if we could turn Dame into Kyrie, which we could do just for the cash, we can go get something awesome for Dame and now actually have a chance to compete like as an elite team immediately.
Wait, I'm confused. You said if you could turn Dame into Kyrie.
In other words, if you're the Portland Trailblazers and it turns out Kyrie's market's not robust, Could you step in and say, come to Portland, be the franchise guy, turn around, trade Damian Lillard for something that would pair well with Kyrie, and then you hit the ground running? Now, I get it. Kyrie's not available. Kyrie's not da-da-da. He's the opposite of Lillard personality. I'm theoretically.
Not even that. If I were Kyrie Irving, I wouldn't want to go to Portland. I don't want to be a part of a rebuild.
I'm saying it wouldn't be a rebuild because Dame would go flip Dame into an excellent player, right? Now you've paired Kyrie immediately with another star player.
Yeah, but you're still, I mean, I was just with the star player in Dallas who is a prolific scorer that allows me to play off ball to a degree. But
what if that's the only super max or the top dollar contract offer he gets?
From Dallas?
No, from Portland. Kyrie. Let's say Kyrie's market's not as robust.
I'd much rather be in Dallas.
For less money.
Yeah.
Okay.
To win a championship. I mean, we're talking about how much less money? That's
why I'm saying theoretically. That's like a move. Like and I apply that principle to Cleveland. When I hear Wendy say big things could happen in Cleveland, I'm not going to say, well, I don't know. I shouldn't even say. He's teasing us, right? I think, well, everyone's mind goes to either Donovan Mitchell's on the move, or maybe they bring LeBron and Bronny, or do they want to buy something like that? But do any of those plans include Kyrie Irving?
Yeah. Look, man, there's so many moving parts. Like, we could sit up here and play hypotheticals all day long about, what guy can go to a different team. All I'm going to say is, if you're Kyrie Irving at this stage of your career, you want to contend for a title.
To clarify, Wendy said they aren't trading Garland, Mitchell, or Mobley.
Okay.
So it's bringing someone in.
Okay.
Wonder who that might be.
He talked about within the margins of he called what they were trying to do within those margins outlandish. He clarified that, and he's like, I don't know why. It's not a Utah situation. He said it's not a Utah situation last year.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting, though.
Hey, real quick, just back to, this is why I do think Zach LaVine can work with Jimmy Butler. He's already used to playing with another superstar in DeMar DeRozan to a degree, right? Sharing the backcourt and something like that, like sharing those tough shots that are taken.
Sure.
Like, I think the personality, look, Jimmy would challenge Zach LaVine, but I think at this stage of Zach LaVine's career, if this were to happen, like, I don't think there's a better culture for you to be in. And don't you want to find out that extra gear about yourself if it's there? Because I think it's there. I just don't know if it's in the right environment conducive to help push it. I think he has to be around other dudes that can help him push himself to get there. And I think that Miami environment, I know Dame can get there. I get the question mark around Zach LaVine, but Zach LaVine to me has this talent where it feels like it still hasn't completely popped off the page the way it should. And that's scary because the dude was averaging 25 points per game. Like, he has it there.
The DeMar DeRozan point's a good one. He is, he's played with a mid-rangey, high-volume type guy, and that's also Jimmy Butler. So in that sense, he's not, he's the outside threat and the finishing threat, and he's playing with a guy who kind of does the other stuff. I don't know if if you say he hasn't reached his potential, maybe on the defensive end, Miami would help him turn him into a really, really top two-way player if he's willing to do it, right? At the end of the day, will Harden, Kyrie, and Draymond just return to their present teams, and that's it? 888-SAY-ESPN, KJM.
Greeny.
It's the greatest postseason any player ever had. It does not make him the greatest center of all time. One of the elements of becoming an all-time great player is doing it for a long time.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.